Hi, Donna Cardamone, CASA advocate and peer coordinator, and I am a retired educator. So today's presentation I have titled CASA, Navigating the Education System for Parents and Resource Parents. And I hope the information provided will help you with the children you work with, from babies through high school. So let's get started. New Jersey Placement Bill of Rights specifically states that a child in out-of-home care has the right to receive an educational program which will maximize the child's potential educationally as well as psychologically and behaviorally. And they need to be provided all of the resources that are available. And sometimes it's just a matter of asking and knowing whom to ask. Let's start with what is the responsibility of a child in placement. As a resource parent, you are responsible for overseeing a child's daily school activities and consenting to routine educational matters. All children in out-of-home placement must be enrolled within 72 hours if it is in a new school placement from where they previously were. As a resource parent, you are authorized to register the child, consent for their participation in their classes and extra activities, as well as to sign their report card and any permission that is needed for like a school trip. You're also allowed to consent for a child study team evaluation, which we're going to get into later. It's very important that you ensure that the child attends school daily, has good study habits, and be involved in the school's program and the child's academics. How do you register a child into a new school should the placement require that? You should be getting a letter from DCP&P to verify all of the information needed, as well as to name you as the provider, the resource parent. You would then go to the local school district with this paperwork in hand. You should also, from DCP&P, have their birth certificate, possibly their medical background, immunizations, as well as usually the school will require that you bring some form of identification as to your address, just to verify that the child is in your district. You should then be able to register them. And if you look at the slide, you'll see that there's further information for you to refer to. Next, as a former teacher and school counselor, it's very important for you to get in touch with both the child's teacher and the school counselor. If you look on the district's website, you can find out who their counselor is. Usually it's by their last name, as well as their teacher. And I've provided on the slide, if you want to stop the slide, a sample letter that you can send to the teacher and school counselor, basically introducing yourself, letting them know that you are the resource parent or parent of the child, and giving them your contact information. A couple of things you want to discuss with the teacher after you make the initial contact. What are the procedures for the classroom, for homework? How can you check the homework each day? Many schools now have what they call the parent portal, and we'll talk about that a little bit more, but it's important for you to log on to that portal because that will be a lot of information that you need. Does the school supply a laptop for your child? And what are the responsibilities there? You also want to find out, obviously, how the child has been doing in school. Are there any counseling groups that maybe the child could get involved in, as well as any after-school activities? Keeping a good relationship with the school counselor and teacher is imperative. And it will be for you, your main contact, just to follow through and see how the child is doing. The district website, in the day and age of having laptops and computers, log on to the district website. The information is there for you. And sometimes you just have to go through, what is the schedule for your child? What's the general information? Arrival time, dismissal time. What happens if your child's absent? What are your responsibilities? the school lunch, and possibly based on the school breakfast program. As a foster child, your child is entitled to get a free lunch. Let's make sure they're getting it. And again, any kind of attendance, absence, or any procedures. The district website will have loads of information. The school calendar. I'm just trying to think as I go on a daily basis for the children I advocate for. Just updates, what's coming up, if there's a activity coming up. It also will provide information about the community, what resources after school are available. Most districts have what they call a parent portal. And again, you're going to need permission and sometimes a password and/or username to log on to this. This, again, is critical. It would be your communication with the school. It's how you're going to find out the students' grades, what's going on, attendance, lots of information. Again, on the slide, there's more information, but the other thing you want to do when you make contact with the teacher and/or counselor is to find out how you can get access to that parent portal. There's a program called the New Jersey's Kinship Navigator Program. If you're raising a grandchild, a child of a relative, or a friend, this is a program that you can get involved in. You are a kinship caregiver. And it provides information, referral, financial assistance, legal services to caregivers for foster children. And the purpose is to provide the caregivers with the services and the supports that they need. Again, if you stop the video, you will see contact information, both emails and phone numbers. Reach out. Who knows what's there that you can apply for and get to help you support the child. Okay, next program I want to speak about is the Early Head Start program, and I did give you a website there to check out. It's for ages babies through 3-year-olds, comprehensive early childhood education, health, nutrition, mental health, and social services. And it is for low-income pregnant mothers, children, their families, and children in foster care. It helps young children prepare to succeed, and it's never too early. Promoting the child's development through services and support. Again, I'm a firm believer. When the services and supports are there, it just takes asking and reaching the right people, which is very important. So again, the Early Head Start would be for the babies through 3-year-olds. They have infant toddler programs. Many of them are free full-day preschool programs, and foster children are able to enroll in those. Again, on the slide, you may want to stop for a moment and read through the different program not requirements, but program availabilities, as well as the services provided. And you will see at the bottom of the slide is a phone number to call, as well as the email address or contact address that's on top. Through 3-year-olds. Very important program, and this is a signature program in New Jersey. It's called the Early Intervention Program, and it points out milestones. What should the baby through 3-year-old be able to do at certain ages? Again, if you stop the slide, I gave you phone numbers and emails to check out, as well as websites. What will the Early Intervention Program tell you? It's an evaluation, and it will give you and the team information about your child's development to help you decide if there's a need for ongoing services. So again, if you have birth through 36 months, check out this website. Babies do develop at their own pace, so it's impossible to tell exactly when a child will learn a given skill. The milestones listed in the pamphlet, Your Child's Development, gives you a general idea. Again, I gave you a website to go to. I believe it's a 4-page milestone of your child's development, and you can just see it each stage, a couple of months at a time. What should my child be doing? Do I have concerns that they're not doing it yet? And again, a discussion with the pediatrician, as well as reaching out to the program. Project Child Find. Gave you a phone number to call. It's a free referral service, a public awareness campaign to assist in the identification, again, of underserved youth with a delay or disability from birth through 21 years. It assists families of infants and toddlers birth through 2 and then 3 through 5. If you stop again on the video, you will see that there is a phone number as well as a website. Again, very important. It's important when a child is in the younger years. If there are areas that can be fixed, so to speak, or at least supported, it's important to reach out and get the services that your child is entitled to. There's a program called Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act. It's a federal civil rights law that protects children with disabilities, discriminated by public schools, and by any college, private school that gets federal funding. Students of all ages that have a medical, physical, or mental disability that substantially limits a major life activity. Now, Section 504 does require a doctor's diagnosis, but you may be surprised to know that it can cover anything such as hearing, eyesight, Crohn's disease, asthma, if there's a mental disability, ADD, ADHD, PTSD, OCD, depression, anxiety, school phobia. Reasonable accommodations are made through the 504, and things such as in the classroom, extra time on a test, if the child needs it, sitting in front of the class, maybe standing as opposed to sitting. Assistive technology could be calculators, graphic organizers, school services, speech therapy, counseling, possibly transportation. Child does not require or need an IEP. This is separate from the child study team. I have provided you with a letter that you can copy and send to the school, and you'll see that I have both the school principal and the school nurse listed. Because it's a medical diagnosis, it would work through the school nurse in the majority of school districts. And if you send this letter along with the doctor's diagnosis, you can get started on it and have a formal meeting to discuss. I'm going to talk a little bit now about child study team evaluation procedures. Again, parent or guardian would submit a letter to the district child study team director and the school principal, requesting an initial evaluation to determine if the child is eligible for special education services. A meeting with the child study team, as well as the parent and guardian, must be scheduled within 20 days of the receipt of the letter, and that's really important. Basically, the meeting will just discuss the natures and scope of the evaluation. What are the areas of concern? At this meeting, teachers should be bringing, and child study team should have, results of any kind of assessments, testing. How has the child been doing? What are the areas of concern? So the initial meeting would just be to discuss all of this and then decide, is the child eligible for services? Are there areas that maybe not through an IEP, but through basic skills classes or other supports and services the child could use to hopefully support them through the school day? Again, the meeting within 20 days, and then within 90 days, they would, if they determined to do some testing, they would have 90 days to complete the testing and have another meeting to determine if an individualized educational plan, IEP, is warranted. It's not guaranteed. And on the next slide, I have provided you with a copy of a letter that you can provide to, again, the school child study team, as well as to the principal. Just basically asking for the meeting. Hopefully your child isn't new to the child study team or to other resources. Hopefully at this point they've already been receiving some support, whether it be small groups for math and language arts, for example. Maybe they've been part of a counseling group. Whatever it may be, this would be the initial to put it all together and see what, if anything, additional resources are available. So now we've gone through grade school. And we're up to high school. Again, the key person, especially when you have a child in high school, would be their counselor. Part of the counselor's responsibilities is to follow the child through 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, to provide some vocational assistance. Usually there are high school programs that just give a career inventory. What do you want to be when you grow up? And most kids say, I have no idea. So many times through the high school counselor, they'll be given different programs and the child many times will come out and I didn't realize I had an interest in that. Let me check it out. And that would be the venue for them to maybe try different elective classes. I have provided you on the slide with different resources, different websites, the New Jersey Youth Resource, New Jersey Foster Care Scholars Program, and the New Jersey STARS Program. All programs great for foster children. They would provide all kind of assistance. They would provide, through college planning, they would provide financial aid and scholarships. They are critical. And again, through the school counselor, keeping in touch with them, making sure things are in line, making sure any kind of applications have been completed in a timely fashion is really important. I'm at the end of the slide presentation, but I did just want to go over a couple of other points and to reinforce some of the things that I've stated. I started out saying that with the New Jersey Child Placement Bill of Rights, a child has the right to receive an educational program that maximizes their potential. As you as a parent or resource parent know, each child is unique in the world. They have their own needs. They have their own strengths. They have their own weaknesses. And it's the weaknesses that we want to support. We want to provide resources. We want to, if we can, make them their strengths later in life. And the way we do that, again, I spoke about the 504 for the medical diagnosis. And also I spoke about child study team, IEP, individualized education program. And in the past, there were concerns, not my child, the diagnosis or whatever. The diagnosis isn't always just an educational one. It could be something else. But again, if the child has a weakness or has an area that we can support, it really is important, especially earlier if you can, to support that, to give them the resources. And it may not be to the extent of a child study team placement. It could just be providing those resources. And again, we all want our children to progress. We all want them to succeed. And we as parents and their caregivers can do that, following the right resources. Again, probably the most important person, or one of the most important, would be the child's counselor and the child's teacher. Realize the counselor and teacher, they're there to help you. They're there to support your child. Your child is in their best interest. They will want to provide what they can. Sometimes it takes asking. Sometimes you may not always see eye to eye, but they're trying to help. Certainly keep an open line of communication. It is critical for you as the parent, as well as for your child, to have a successful school year. And with that, I hope you've gained some information. I hope through research, through phone calls, you're able to access the different supports that I spoke about and to work through all of them with your child for a successful school year and educational program. Thank you very much.